This was our everything. It wasn't just bricks and mortar. It was the walls that held our laughter, the floor that felt the pitter-patter of tiny feet running on Christmas morning, the kitchen that smelled of Sunday roasts. It was our sanctuary, our safe place. We did everything right. We worked hard for it. We maintained it. And crucially, we insured it. We paid our premium every single month, without fail, believing that piece of paper was a promise. A promise that if the worst ever happened, we would be okay. Hello everyone. My name is Mark, and this is the story of the day the promise was broken. The day our insurance policy, a document we trusted implicitly, turned its back on us when we needed it most. This isn't just my story. It's a warning. A lesson I learned through heartache that I want to share with you, so you never have to stand where I stood, feeling that same cold shock of betrayal. It was a standard Tuesday in October. The sky was that particular shade of gray that seems unique to Britain, threatening rain but never quite delivering. My wife, Sarah, was at work. The kids were at school. I was working from my home office, a converted box room I was ridiculously proud of. Our policy documents were filed neatly in a cabinet downstairs. We'd chosen a well-known insurer, a household name with friendly adverts on TV. We felt covered. The first sign was the weather alert on my phone, a yellow warning for wind. Nothing we hadn't seen before. I shrugged it off. An hour later, it was upgraded to amber. The trees outside began to sway. Not a gentle dance, but an angry thrashing. Then it hit. A sound I will never forget. It wasn't a howl. It was a roar. A deep, violent roar that seemed to shake the very foundations of the house. I remember standing up, my heart starting to hammer against my ribs. This was different. This was malicious. And then it happened. A sound like a cannon shot, deafeningly loud, coming from the back of the house. I ran downstairs, my legs feeling like jelly. Through the kitchen window, I saw it. The giant old oak tree at the end of our garden, the one the kids had their swing on, was now lying across our roof. The roof was gone, or at least a huge section of it was. Rain and wind were pouring into our home. Mark, on phone. Yes, emergency. There's a tree on my house. Water is coming in everywhere. Please, send someone. In that moment of pure panic, my mind did a strange thing. It clung to one single, comforting thought. It's okay. It's okay. We're insured. That thought was my lifeline. The firefighters came. They made the area safe. The emergency restoration crew came, tarping up the massive hole in my roof. They were amazing. And through it all, I held on to that lifeline. I called the insurance company. The first call. The woman on the phone was sympathetic, efficient. She took all my details. She said the words I desperately needed to hear. A claims adjuster will be assigned and will contact you within 48 hours to assess the damage. I hung up the phone, surrounded by the wreckage of my home, and I felt hopeful. We were in the system. The machine was turning. The promise was being kept. Or so I thought. The next 48 hours were a blur of wet vacuums, the humidifiers humming like angry bees, and trying to salvage our waterlogged belongings. We moved into a hotel, our policy covering the cost of alternative accommodation. Another mark in the pro column. We were coping. We were a team. We kept telling each other, the adjuster will come and everything will be sorted. We were so naive. Evans? Mark? Ian Evans from the insurance company, here to assess the storm damage. They walk through the house. Mr. Evans is polite but detached, clinical. He takes photos, makes notes on his tablet, barely making eye contact. He points at water stains. Marar. Evans. Significant water intrusion here. Drywall will need to be cut out and replaced. Structural integrity of the roof beams will need to be inspected. He was there for about 2 hours. He was thorough. I'll give him that. He asked a lot of questions. How old is the roof? Have you had any previous leaks? Did you get the trees professionally inspected? I answered everything honestly. Our roof was about 15 years old. No major leaks. And no, We hadn't hired an arborist to inspect the old oak tree. It looked healthy to us. I was just being transparent. I didn't know I was building my own coffin, nail by nail. Cut to a week later. Mark is checking the mail. He finds a thick envelope from the insurance company. He smiles, a look of relief on his face. He opens it eagerly, sitting at his kitchen table to check. The promise. This was it. This was the moment we could start putting our lives back together. I tore open the envelope. But it wasn't a check. It was a letter. A long, dense letter full of legal phrases and clauses. My eyes scanned the page, my heart beginning to sink. I couldn't find a number. I couldn't find an offer. All I could find were words like denial and non-covered peril. My eyes finally found the crucial paragraph. The reason. The sentence that made my blood run cold. Pre-existing wear and tear. My 15-year-old roof had wear and tear. Who doesn't? The tree didn't fall because a tile was loose. A storm, a named storm that was on the news, threw a 100-year-old oak tree onto my house. But they found their loophole. They used my own honesty about the roof's age against me. The promise wasn't just broken. It was shattered. And then they walked away, leaving us standing in the rubble. What do you do when the institution you paid to protect you becomes the source of your greatest crisis? The first emotion was pure, unadulterated rage. Then came the fear. How do we pay for this? The hotel bills would stop, now the claim was denied. The repair quotes we'd gotten were in the tens of thousands. We didn't have that kind of money. This wasn't just about a roof. This was about our financial future. Our stability. Scene of Mark on hold with the insurance company, listening to awful hold music for what feels like an eternity. Customer service. Thank you for holding. Your call is important to us. The current wait time is 45 minutes. I became a ghost in their machine. I was transferred from department to department. Each person was politely helpless. I'm sorry, sir. The adjuster's assessment is final. That decision was made by the underwriting team. I can't access that. You can file an appeal, but it will be reviewed by the same department that denied you. It was a maze designed to make me give up, to wear me down. And it was working. The stress was eating us alive. Arguments over money. Tears of frustration. Our safe haven had become a source of nightmares. In my desperation, I turned to the internet. And I found out something that changed everything. I wasn't alone. I was one of thousands. There were entire online communities of people like me, people who had been lowballed or outright denied by their insurance companies. It was a club nobody wanted to join. But in that community, I found a new word. A word that became my lifeline. A public adjuster. They work on a percentage of the final settlement. They only get paid if you get paid. Their entire goal is to fight for you. It was the first bit of hope I'd felt in weeks. Hiring one was a big decision, but what choice did I have? We had nothing left to lose. David, Mark, good to meet you. Don't worry. We're going to go through this together, line by line. Montage of David working. He takes hundreds of photos, uses a moisture meter on walls, climbs into the attic, examines the damage with an expert's eye. He sits with Mark at the table, spreading out the policy document. DAVID, pointing to the policy. See this clause here? They're interpreting it to mean they're not liable for any failure that involves pre-existing conditions. But look at this clause over here, the concurrent causation clause. It states that if a covered peril, like a windstorm, and a non-covered peril, like wear and tear, happen at the same time, the covered peril takes precedence. The storm caused the damage. Full stop. Mark. For the first time, I felt like I had an expert on my side. Someone who spoke their language. David didn't get emotional. He got factual. He built a case. A mountain of evidence. He documented everything the first adjuster missed. Hidden structural damage, ruined insulation, potential mold growth. He put a real, accurate price on our loss. Not the insurance company's lowball estimate. We sent the new package off. The waiting was agony. But this time, it was different. This time, we had a weapon. A few days later, the phone rang. It was the insurance company's special claims unit. They wanted to talk. David handled the call on speakerphone. NSU Rents Company. We've reviewed your supplemental claim. While we maintain our position on the wear and tear issue, we are prepared to offer a revised settlement as a gesture of goodwill. David is calm, firm. David, this isn't about goodwill, Sarah. This is about policy enforcement. Our evidence clearly shows the damage was a direct result of a covered windstorm event. As per Section 4A, the wear and tear is irrelevant and, as outlined in our report, did not contribute to the collapse. The concurrent causation clause applies. We are not negotiating our final number. We are inviting you to fulfill your contractual obligation. Mark's face shows a mix of awe and hope. It was a standoff. They pushed. David pushed back, calmly citing clauses in evidence. He wasn't angry. He was immovable. And after what felt like an eternity, they folded. They agreed to the full settlement, minus our deductible. Just like that. The battle was over. We had one mark. We got the money. We repaired the house. We moved back in. But it was never quite the same. The trust was gone. The innocence was gone. The victory felt bittersweet. We had our home back, but the experience had scarred us. It took over a year of our lives. The real victory wasn't the check. It was the lesson. A lesson I am begging you to learn from so you don't have to live through it. Mark stands in his repaired, beautiful home. The sun is shining through the windows. It looks perfect, but his expression is serious, educational. Mark, so, here is what I learned. This is what you need to do now, before anything ever happens. 1. Know your policy. Don't just file it away. Read it. Yes, the whole boring thing. Understand the difference between replacement cost value and actual cash value. Know your deductibles. Understand your coverage limits. Are you underinsured? 2. Document everything. Get a phone and take a video tour of your entire house. Open drawers, closets. Film the brand of your appliances, the condition of your roof, your flooring. Narrate it. Date it. Store this video in the cloud. Update it every year. This is your evidence. 3. Get professional assessments. Have a roofer give your roof a written report on its condition. Have an electrician look at your wiring. This creates a paper trail that proves the state of your home before a disaster. 4. You are not alone. If they deny you, don't just accept it. Appeal immediately. Get a second opinion. And seriously, consider hiring a public adjuster first. They level the playing field. 5. The promise is a business. Remember, insurance is a for-profit industry. Their goal is to take in more in premiums than they pay out in claims. It's not personal. It's business. So you have to treat it like business. Be prepared, be documented, be professional. Mark. Our home is still our sanctuary. But now we protect it differently. We don't just rely on a promise in a filing cabinet. We rely on our own knowledge and our own preparedness. I share this story not for sympathy, but for empowerment. Don't wait for the storm to come to find out if your policy will hold. Find out now. Be your own advocate. Protect your sanctuary. Text on screen. Be prepared. Be informed. Protect your home.